What's up, everybody? It's Chris, your financial coach, financial therapist here with United Agency. In today's episode, we're going to talk about how we can get our kids financially prepared for life. I'm going to give you 3 things that you should be paying attention to if you are trying to financially educate your kids. Stick around. Hey everybody, we're back. Again, as always, hit the like, hit the subscribe. If this channel or these videos are feeding you anything or giving you any insight, feel free to share it with a friend. Our mission is to come and be able to give you all of the resources you need around financial education and business education here on this channel. So we appreciate you sharing it and subscribing to the channel. In today's episode, we're going to talk to parents that are interested in educating your children about money. Some of you might have young children under the age of 6 or 7. Some of you might have some teenagers. Some of you might have almost adult children, 17, 18, 19 years old, 20 years old, and you want to educate them and set them on the right path when it comes to finances. This is going to be something that you're going to want to practice over time, but it's definitely important topics and important tactics that you're going to need in order to be able to instill the right stuff in your kids. So where do we start with this conversation? Just know that most of us pick up our financial information, our financial habits from our parents or our peers, right? The family members that raise us, the people that we grow up with, or the people that we choose to be around. Those are the people that typically give us our financial information, our first set of financial information. So as parents, we have a lot of responsibility, a huge responsibility on how we can shape our child's money mindset. Some of us grow up not having our money mindset shaped properly. We learn through things like trial and error, right? How do we learn about insurance? It's once we find out what a deductible is after we go to the hospital. How do we learn about credit? It's after we've gotten the credit card and are paying interest on credit card debt that we learn about credit. How do we learn about savings? That time our tire blows out and we don't have anything set aside. So a lot of times we learn things through trial and error, but wouldn't it be great if the people that take care of us have set us up so that we have some basic financial understanding, some basic financial knowledge that can set us apart in life? Wouldn't that be great? And kudos, some of you had great parents that did that. Typically, if your parents worked in the financial space or got around people that were in the financial space, it's likely that they passed some of those things down to you. But I'm going to share with you 3 things that I really think moving forward in our generations, we can implement to really make sure our kids get that financial education that they need. So number 1, have financial conversations often. A child is never too young to have a financial conversation or start to understand about money. They want things at a very early age. They want things that cost money at a very early age. And so being able to have open financial conversations about how we make income or how things are spent, how much money things cost, what taxes are when you purchase things, it's never too early. Obviously, every child differs, but there's a study that says children at the age of 3 can start to pick up some financial education and financial information. So it's never too early. You want to make sure as a parent that we're having these financial conversations early and often. They don't have to be very complex, but they can be very simple. Next time you go to the store, depending on how old your child is, and you pull out that dollar bill, tell them what that dollar bill is. If your child is 4 years old and they're trying to figure out some things around money, give them a coin, show them it's a quarter. Take out that dollar bill, show them the difference between $1 and $5. These are things that we can start to learn how to do, but the key is we have to have conversations early and often around money. You might not be teaching them directly out of a book or some lesson, but just getting them familiar with what money looks like is going to be key. So that's 1, have those financial conversations with your children early and often, no matter what age it is. Number 2, pull them into the daily financial things that are happening around the household. Sometimes we get asked this question a lot as a financial coach: how do I get my children to save money? Or how do I get my children to save for their car or budget money better and not spend it? Well, I always ask the question, have you shown them how to do it? The big difference in being told to do something, but then being shown how to do something. If you tell someone to do something, sure, they'll know, okay, I guess this is what mom or dad wants. I should do this. But if they've never seen how to do it, then it's likely they don't have that skill. So if you want your child to budget, when's the last time you budgeted and pulled them into the budgeting conversation? I think of a clip that I saw on social media a while back of a mom, right, with her kids all around the table talking about financial literacy, right? They had things that they're writing down for their budget, and they had to explain some things back to her. And some people in the comments said that, that was too much, or that was rigorous. And some people understood completely, because those kids are going to be set up with a base level of financial education, so they don't make the same mistakes most people make. But either way, when's the last time you've done that as a parent? When's the last time you sat down at the kitchen table and you were budgeting and you pulled your child in and say, hey, have a seat right here. This is what a budget looks like. When's the last time you pulled them in and say, here's what our electric bill looks like? Here's what our mortgage looks like. When's the last time you sat down with them and said, here's what our savings account looks like, and here's the frequency of how we save? Now, I know this might be triggering because many people don't save money. Many people don't work off of a budget, or they're not confident in their budget. So anything we're not confident in or not doing, it's hard to teach. But that's the first step. If you don't want to repeat the same mistakes in your child, then you have to pull them in. No one said you had to be perfect, but you got to expose them to it. We got to make sure, if you want them to learn how to save money, that they are watching you save money. They are seeing that savings account grow up. And you don't have to think like, oh, now they're going to know what we have in our savings account or how much money we have, and now they're going to ask for more things or expect more things. Nope, that's another teaching lesson. Another teaching lesson is, yeah, I know you saw that account, and I know you saw what we have in there, but that account is marked for emergency fund, or that account is marked for retirement. We don't spend that money, and these are the reasons. And so just being able to, one, have financial conversations early and often, and then two, pulling them into the daily activities that you deal with financially are going to help your children get a clearer picture and a clearer understanding on what's required to run a household and how bills work. There's some kids out there, and again, when I say kids, I'm talking the whole span. Someone that's a child that's 5 years old to a child that's 19 years old. Some kids don't know that bills are monthly, that your phone bill is a monthly thing, that you have to pay it monthly, that your mortgage you pay for 15 or 30 years. Some don't understand that concept. So whose responsibility is it to make sure that they understand it? Parents. Do they understand how much it costs to get a new refrigerator? Some of you have a little bit, teenage kids, when they break something, do they know exactly how much it costs to get it back? If they don't like their toy, or they break their cell phone that you gave them, or they're careless with their iPad or their electronic, do you show them how much it costs? These could all be ways that you could help them have a money mindset that helps them in the future. The third thing we can do to be able to help our kids get financially educated properly is, when they are of age, give them money in the same ways or similar ways that you receive money. So this is a difference between, people that are more employees, or people that maybe own businesses or more entrepreneurial. Guess what? As parents, we all handle money a bit differently. If you're an employee, you have a job, you possibly get paid every week, every 2 weeks, or once a month. Well, how you get paid, let's say your child, this might go for teenage years. It might go for people that, kids that are 12 and up, right? They start to get that allowance. That's normally about the time you might start giving your child an allowance, but you want to give them some financial education along with it. If you get paid in a weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly basis, then maybe that should be how you pay your child for chores or for their allowance, instead of giving a little bit whenever they need it. Your 16-year-old's like, oh, I need some food today, Mom. Here's $20. 4 days go by. Hey, me and Johnny are trying to go out and hang out. Can I get $40 for the movies? All right, here's $40. I need some clothes. I need some shoes. All right, here's another $40. When we hand it out that way, we are looking at them like an expense, right? Like how we spend the money, and we're not empowering them on how they should be using money. This takes a little work, but if you take a look back and see, okay, exactly how much do I normally give my children on a monthly basis? That should be something you should track. If you have a ballpark number, like, oh, on average, I got to give my kid like $200 a month, like $250 a month. Then maybe if you get paid bi-weekly, when you get paid, give $100 to your son or your daughter and say, hey, you got this $100 for 2 weeks. You don't get anything else. You got to learn how to manage this $100. So if that means you want food, or you want to go out, or you need shoes or whatever, that's your $100 for you, but there's no more. You can't come tap in until I get paid again. And then you get another $100, and they will learn how to manage it. Teach them how to save some of it. Teach them not to just spend all of it. Teach them how to maybe invest some of it or give some of it away to a friend, or right, if they tithe or any of those things, you have to put money in their hand, just like we get money in our hand, and teach them exactly what to do with it. So that's if you get paid as an employee. Teach them the same ways. Other people that are entrepreneurs, we get paid differently. We might not have the consistent every week, every 2 weeks, every month that we get a steady check. So that thing might fluctuate. So maybe if you have a teenage child and you want to teach them to be more entrepreneurially and handle money potentially more entrepreneurially, then maybe that's task oriented. Maybe that's effort oriented. By the amount of tasks they get done in that week, or the amount of effort they put into their schoolwork or to their after school activity or housework or whatever it is, there is a scale for how much that they can receive. Once they have that amount, until they do another set of those types of chores, responsibilities, activities, schoolwork, put in similar efforts, they get more money. But the other side is also true if you teach them this, that if you don't put in the effort this week, if the grades aren't looking good because you're not putting in the effort, if the house was a little bit like you didn't take care of your chores this week and you don't get as much, that could be a way that you teach responsibility in an entrepreneurial way to your children. So those are 3 different ways that we can start the process of teaching our children about how to handle money. Number 1, have conversations early and often with our children. Number 2, make sure you are pulling them into the day-to-day activities that you are experiencing and that you are handling running your household. And number 3, let them touch money and learn how to deal with it in the same ways that we deal with it. And then learn how to do the right things with it. Spending it, saving it, investing it, maybe even giving some of it away. Teaching those things and those principles will guarantee, not fully guarantee, but it'll set yourself up and your children up for a life where they constantly are shaping their money mindset in the things that are serving them and not the things that can take them away from their goals and dreams. But it's our responsibility as parents, ladies and gentlemen, to be able to go out and do that. So I implore you to do that. If this video helped, like, subscribe, share this with somebody, share this with a parent that might need to hear it. There's plenty of other tips that we have. If these 3 helped you, there's probably another 10 to 15 more that we can dive into. But click in the description below, set up time to be able to meet with us one-on-one, and we can guide you down that path of building the proper foundation financially, not just for you, but also for your children. Until next time.